This is example 4, and I prepared it a little bit ahead of time because I didn't want to use up time doing the actual drawing. So this is the Centennial Fountain in Chicago that shoots a water in an arc that can be modeled by this equation. Y equals negative 0.006x squared plus 1.2x plus 10, where x is the horizontal distance in feet from the shore. This is actually the North Shore, I didn't label it. And y is the height in feet above the river. So the river really starts down here, right? The water starts at 10 feet above, which is why you've got this 10 here, right? Because that's the starting point. And the water starts to shoot up. This is the horizontal axis, x above the river. If you're hearing something, that's because there's a helicopter ahead. And this is the distance from the North Shore to the South Shore. So the book is asking, actually a very good question, does the water arc reach a height of 50 feet? This is a really great problem. Now the drawing gives it away, but how would you figure it out if you did not have the drawing? Does the water arc reach 50 feet? This is the kind of question that we're going to use the discriminant to figure out, because they're not asking you specific numbers. They're just saying, does it get that high? Well, given our equation, remember what it means. This is the starting height. This is the final height. We're saying, does it reach a height of 50 feet? And if so, does it reach it once or twice, right? Are we going to get, if we get a no answer, right? No solution means it doesn't reach it. One solution means it reaches it once, which will probably be, and in that case, this would be the maximum. It would reach it once at the vertex. And the reason this is not at 0 is because we're really, instead of using 0 as the intercept, we're using the line y equals 50 as the intercept. And if you have two solutions, it means it reaches it once here and once there. And so we are going to put that into the equation and figure out, does the water reach 50 feet, period. So to do that, we're going to substitute this in. This is the final height 50 equal negative 0.006x squared plus 1.2x plus 10. And we're going to subtract 50 and get 0 equals negative 0.006x squared plus 1.2x minus 40, since we subtract 50 from both sides. Okay, and we're gonna just use the discriminant to figure this out. We don't have to do the whole problem out. We can just do the discriminant. Reminding ourselves, right, the discriminant is this part of the quadratic equation. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, right? We're just going to do the discriminant, just this part, to figure out the answer. Okay, so let's write down b squared minus 4ac. Well, what is b? Well, it looks like b is 1.2. So 1.2 squared minus 4. Well, what is a? A is negative 0.006 times c, negative 40. Okay, 1.2 squared gives us 1.2 squared, 1.44 and this is going to be a negative number because negative times negative times negative, you have an odd number, right? So you're going to end up with a negative number. And if I just do my calculator, I'll just put it up here, I get negative 4 times negative 0.006 times negative 40 and I get negative 0.96. So minus 0.96. Plus 1.44, I get 0.48. Well, that's a positive number, and what that means is that the water is going to reach 50 feet twice, once on the way up and then once on the way down, because the 50 feet mark is here, right? So it's going to reach it here and then here. So that's where you're going to have two solutions. I'm just going to abbreviate it because I don't have a lot of space. Okay. The next part of the question says, if so, about how far from the North Shore is the water arc 50 feet above the water? So for the first part, we need to say yes, it hits 50 feet twice. The second part of the question is saying, well, when it hits 50 feet, how far is it from the shore? This way and here, where is it, right? This is the x value that's in this equation, right? What are the x values when it hits 50 feet? So after all, we're going to try to solve the whole thing. And to do that, we need the quadratic equation. So I'm going to rewrite our initial equation. Y equals negative 0.006 x squared plus 1.2x plus 10. And I'm going to rewrite what happened when we substituted in 50, just to remember what our history is with this problem, right? We subtracted 50 from both sides, and we ended up with negative 0.06 x squared plus 1.2x minus 40. So now we're going to do the whole quadratic formula. This is A, this is B, this is C. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Well, we've already found out what goes in here. So we're just going to substitute our point. We're going to know it's going to be plus or minus square root of 0.48 because we found it out in the previous problem. Negative b, well, b is 1.2, so negative 1.2 over 2a, 2 times negative 0.006. And we're almost there. X equals negative 1.2 plus or minus square root of 0.48. I'm going to do it all on the calculator because it's actually easier. Except that this last part, 2 times negative 0.006, 2 times negative 0.006 is negative 0.12. So I'm going to do the plus first and then the minus. Negative 1.2 plus the square root of 0.48. And this answer is going to get divided by negative 0.12. And I get an answer of 4.22. Which looks like there's something wrong. Let's see. I'm going to try this again because I think I'm off. I'm trying to figure out why I'm off. 2 times negative 0.006. Oops. Let's see. 2 times negative 0.006. 0.0112. That makes sense. Okay. Now let me do that again. Negative 1.2 plus the square root of, 0.48, and I'm going to divide that by 0.012, and we get 42. There we go. My answer did not make sense in real life. And it should be a positive 42.26. All right, I'm going to do this whole thing with minus. So again, negative 1.2 minus this time the square root of 0.48. And I'm going to divide that by negative 0.012. And I'm going to get x equals 157.7. If I round both of those, I get 42 feet and 156 feet. Oh, sorry, 158 feet. This should be 157.7 if you do it on your calculator. 100, so let me just correct that. 158 feet. And that, if I go back to my initial diagram, sorry that's messy, but I do know it's the right answer. That means that if you look at the original problem, this ends up being 42 feet right here. And when it hits the second time, it's going to be 158 feet. And I'm slightly off, but you can see how that works out that way. Okay. All right, so that is the end of 10.7. In addition to this, you have a quiz, and because of science fair, I have made them both due Monday, giving you some time to work them out. I'm not giving you a lot of problems on 10.7, and the quiz is not very long, so hopefully this altogether will not take you too much time. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.